The following episode contains personal experiences and opinions. The name John or John Doe is used only as an anonymous placeholder to protect identities. Any similarity to actual people, events, or workplaces is purely coincidental. These stories are told from lived experience and are shared to raise awareness and support healing.
That's such a good idea. I never told you the full story about Vegas.
Well, I don't think I've...
I mean, I think you did, but I think I blocked it out.
I mean, I don't know if I have.
I mean, honestly, like, I disassociated from just everything.
Because where...
John Doe. Hold on. It's time to film. Maybe if I sing it to you, I won't have to scream.
Wait, that's like a Disney princess scream.
That would be a Disney, like...
I know, you're Glenda. No, I'm
Alphaba.
I'm Glenda.
Yeah, also our colors are even... Glenda. Alphaba. Glenda. Alphaba. But I really am. That's why that movie fucking wrecked me, because I was watching Us the whole time.
How did we start talking about that?
I don't know.
Oh, your Disney beautiful voice.
I want wine and I have...
Can we just cheers so we can get this shit show started? Welcome to We Weren't Crazy.
Welcome to We Weren't Crazy.
That's your line.
Welcome to We Weren't Crazy.
Part 2. Welcome to We Weren't Crazy Part 2. Because you interrupted me in my...
I'm so fucking paranoid it's not recording.
No, I was too, because I knew...
Apple, they'll never sponsor us. But if they wanted to, give me a bigger phone. I just need to figure out how to use external storage. Where's your knee? I want our knees to be touching again.
I can't move. If I move, I will suddenly lose everything. It's an OCD thing that you'll see in our previous episode.
But I liked that
I did too. But if I move my foot from where it's at, I'll freak out. Freak out. Freak out. Oh, God. Anyways.
Velvet Devil, if you want to sponsor us.
What was I saying?
Ow. God. Did you hear that? That hurt. Was my hair okay?
I don't know. Is your fucking neck okay? You literally just snapped it in half.
Yeah, it's fine. I have a high pain tolerance.
Apparently.
It's not even connected to my body. So tell me, what really happened in Vegas?
I'm going to tell you.
That's not real. Hold on.
No, but I'm going to tell you why.
I'm trying to get a sound clip.
What happens in Vegas?
So tell me, what really happened in Vegas? I'm just a terrible actor, right?
It does not stay in Vegas, I'll tell you that.
Because it comes out on the We Weren't Crazy podcast.
Yes! Yeah!
Yeah.
In the previous episode, we were talking about how John Doe was the aggressor.
I wasn't in Vegas, and my other friends that worked there were in Vegas. And so I had asked them just to like keep, an eye on you, because I knew obviously what John's motive was.
Right.
But I also just knew in general, like, there's a lot of sex trafficking that happens in Vegas, and I know that you get blackout. And so if you were, let's say, gambling with unlimited drinks, I was afraid I'm not there. Like, who's going to make sure you're okay?
Right.
So, like, I had asked them to kind of keep an eye out, basically.
Right.
And they had texted me, like, we tried to get Felicia to go, but she wanted to stay and hang out. They even told me, like, John was there, but he wasn't by her.
Yeah.
He was there, like, watching you. Like,
Yeah.
you weren't even, like, talking to him. You were talking to a different guy. Yeah.
The reason why I don't think that I told you right away everything that happened was because he had made me feel so important that night I was the one to text him. I said, "What are you doing? I'm still awake." So we met down at the bar, and then we kissed at the bar. But it was me who reached out to him.
I remember it in my brain.
And then all we did was kiss at the bar. And then I invited him back up to my room like I do. I mean, I am notorious for...
Yeah.
I love boys.
She does.
To me, in that moment, I was like, here's this person that sees me. With John Doe, it almost felt very elusive. It felt like, here's this man who comes across as a powerful human.
Mm-hmm.
But he's opened up to me, because that night at the bar, no, it was the night before anything happened. He had opened up to me and he made himself come across as like this vulnerable teddy bear type. And then so it was the next night, And I think back about, and he would even bring that up too. He would say, I didn't go to your room intending to do anything. And I stayed because you got naked and got into the bath, which I do. I love my bath.
I remember you telling me that and being like, not surprising.
And he wanted to make sure I didn't fall and hit my head, is what he says. But and here's the thing, though. Here's where the dynamic, the importance of it comes into play. You're my boss. It's your responsibility as a leader to shut down shit. You should have shut me down in that moment.
But that's where he also, in your entire relationship, flipped the psychological script and
made me seem like the one that sought him out.
It made it feel to you like it was your choice or you were in power.
Yeah.
But the reality is that he just knew exactly how to control you.
Yeah.
I was trying to not be like too much in my reaction about it because I already had expressed to you how much I didn't trust him. And I remember when you told me, I was like, if I react right now, then she's not going to tell me anything else and I need to make sure that she's okay.
That takes a lot of strength. I couldn't do that.
In my mind, like I genuinely thought nothing's going to separate us. I just have to get through it with her. There was no scenario. There was literally no scenario. There was none. There was none. Nothing. Zero. I was afraid you were going to get hurt. I was afraid you were going to get used. I was afraid you were going to get stuck in this. I was worried about me. I was worried about my job. But I thought if I can stay on his good side, if I can just try to find good in him like I did with ex-husband, at least I saw some soft spots of ex-husband where I was like, okay, I don't think you're a terrible human, but I think that you're mentally ill. So I just tried to shift my thinking to like, maybe I can find these pieces. I remember saying, Felicia, I told you before you went to Vegas this was going to happen. And you said, no, he believes in me because I'm good at my job. And you got mad at me because you said, you just don't think I'm good at my job. And I said, no, that's not true. I'm proud of you, but I know that the stats say differently. And there's people, it's not even about me. It's about people that have been here for 3 years that have better stats than you, that are more qualified to go.
And
that's
keep in
not
mind,
against you.
Keep in mind,
that's
that was
reality.
the first time.
Framed it as she was going to be a trainer.
And that is such a weird fucking cyclical moment where it literally went from the CEO situation where I walked away from it and it took me time to finally feel objectified. Like I still at that point,
VP?
I was still,
You
just
said CEO.
Oh, VP. Sorry.
I was like,
getting all my people confused.
Sorry, it's just hard when you can't say their name.
It took me a long time to recognize the VP situation for what it was.
And
it wasn't until I started
objectified.
therapy until I was like, I was objectified in that situation. Yeah. And now I'm in a different situation where I don't feel objectified. The power that psychopaths have over people. What did I say? I'm a hard worker.
I don't remember if it was text or if we were talking about it, but I remember just being like, I don't trust him and I don't think his intentions are good. And I think he's taking because she is his right-hand man of getting women. We already knew he had fucked multiple people and we knew that was the safe person he would put in between them.
Right.
So the fact that it was you, him, and going, I said, I don't trust him and I don't think he's taking you for the right reasons.
Right.
And you said, this is the first time I've ever been recognized for being good at my job and you want to take it away from me.
So think about it. Literally think about how.
He was already trying to turn us against each other.
And he literally.
And like, I hope you know,
when it comes to energy,
I was never jealous about you getting to go.
No, I know.
Can I just don't want it to come across that way.
No, I don't know. What, are you kidding me?
But I didn't know why you think that back then. I think you told yourself that back then.
I did back then. I don't now. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, yeah, but just like
no.
Sure.
No.
I mean, it wasn't
energy, epiphany.
Can you put your knee back? I miss it.
No. Okay, I can, but I gotta move my
thing. I miss it was like a comfort knee. It's not better. Go.
I forgot now. I asked you one thing.
Because you got to go because you were good at your job.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. See? Energy. Do you see the energy? I'm fine. I'm fine. I got to ground myself. You got to just like look at me when you say it.
You were saying, no, I feel like you're looking at me weird.
No, I just need to know Because I'm trying to memorize.
I know you're trying to like send powers to my brain.
No,
I
I'm
can
trying
feel
to
it.
reflect
You
powers.
can't harvest
I'm
my
trying
brain.
to reflect your
She's
powers.
literally like,
So, energy levels. Here's what I was trying to say. Here's where psychopaths have so much energetic power. Okay, look at this. Do you see these bubbles? I'm being serious.
I'm watching.
This is bubble 1, where I was with the VP.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I started therapy and I was halfway through therapy where I saw that in real time, real vision. And then I also saw my power and who I was. And then this motherfucker comes in and it literally is like, so you see energy shifting, okay? Literally like a fucking black wall went up where energy was no longer shifting. His presence around his prey is a black fucking wall.
Well, I don't even think that I think that that's a good point that it's a wall, but I think what the wall does is it blows you backwards and it made you little baby Felicia.
No, I disagree.
At the end of it,
What I think it
watched
did.
you as a child.
No, and
version.
I agree. What I'm saying is it sucks a whole human being in and rips them apart. So it literally, it wasn't taking me back to just little Felicia. It was taking me back to empowered Felicia. It literally took me back to every single part of myself, but
and
then
took them
it
away from you.
No, took it and like exemplified it. Yeah, took it away. They took every part of whole Felicia, broke it apart.
And then
He
took
saw
those
the
pieces
powerful
away
part, he
one
saw
by
the broken
one.
parts, and he had to control them in his own environment because he
That's
heard my
true.
story. He knew where I came from. He would bring out things in me and like ask questions about like my sexuality or whatever. Literally take control and spin them to like, I know I'm a sexual being.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I had been able to embrace it in a long time.
Yeah.
After, right?
Yeah.
Because that's like when you and I started talking about like sexual expression and just like how
I'm just having a moment. I'm having a moment.
Tell me, I love moments.
I just like, I also feel like I'm kind of like, I'm starting to disassociate a little bit because I feel like I'm like getting a little bit re-traumatized, but I'm fine. It's fine. We need to work through it. I just want to stay in the moment. I'm trying to stay in the moment. And I could feel myself like leaving my body for a second.
Yeah.
Because whenever you just describe that, I had only ever thought of it like, because I watched it happen, I had only ever thought of it like he ripped everything that you healed away and you were back to like little baby Felicia that just wanted to be loved. Like that's the only way that I'd ever processed it. But the way that you just described it is like so accurate because it's exactly what he did. He empowered every part of you that had never been empowered before just so he could take it away. And he made you feel okay to be sexual. He made you feel like you were thriving in your job, like you could be recognized. He asked you questions about your trauma. He spoke to you differently than any man had ever spoken to you. He gave you a voice just to take it away. But it was like every single piece of you. It's like literally how you described it. He broke you apart so that he could literally find every single piece. And then one by one, he just fucking plucked those pieces out. He took away your empathy. He took away everything. He took away everything. Like when you came back, you were not you. I had never thought of it that way. That he literally broke apart each piece of you, lifted you up, empowered you, and then fucking took it away. And that is the most fucked up abuse that anybody can suffer.
That is literally a psychopath. And I remember
I hate that motherfucker
like
so much.
Even whenever
It's okay, baby. I'm sorry.
Even
We're
whenever
okay.
you and I had like reconnected and started hanging out again, I couldn't because I was still it was like residual effect. That shit doesn't just like go away. With my ex-husband, it was like I knew what was going on, but I thought that there was hope for it to change.
Yeah.
With John Doe, I literally had no fucking idea who this man was. All I saw, and even whenever I broke up with him because I told him, like, I think we're just two different people. There was a lot of shit that was traumatizing, but I was so brainwashed at that point that my survival mechanism was to, like, you don't know what's wrong because you can't comprehend what was
It's like
fucking wrong about that, but you just
your
know
soul
that, like,
just knew that you needed.
that I just, like, needed to.
Come here. You want to lay up?
I essentially broke up with him because we were two different people. So when you and I reconnected, and one of the arguments that we had before we stopped talking again was you were extremely triggered by him. And I couldn't comprehend that at that point. I just was like, at that point, I think I had disassociated thinking, well, he's gone. I'm not with him anymore.
Expected, yeah.
It left a fucking footprint.
Yeah.
More than anything else, more than being molested, more than being raped. Like, that fucked me up.
I think maybe if we do give a little bit of.
I'll talk about everything.
Yeah, I think how we separated in it.
I don't remember. I guess the only way I remember in my brain was something, I don't know if we were in the parking lot and I read a message, but it essentially was, you had said you have to make a choice. It's either me or him. And that's kind of all I remember. I wasn't even word for word the text. It's just in my brain.
It wasn't a
text. I just was it in the parking lot? Am I kind of there?
You were probably in the parking lot because I was in the parking lot of the gas stations and we worked the same shift. So we probably were getting off at the same time.
Was it a phone call?
Yeah, I was hysterical.
And what had happened that made you?
At this point, I had, I don't want to trigger you by anything that I'm saying.
No, it won't.
Okay.
Honestly, here's what I have to remember. Like, whenever you're talking about the shitty things and the ways that I treated you, I have to remember that wasn't me.
Yeah, it wasn't. And you know I know that. It also, like...
But even saying that out loud, like, a lot of people be like, you're not holding yourself accountable, and, like, but that wasn't fucking me. Like, I was on a fucking different planet.
Maya, if you're going to be up here, you have to lay still because you can't distract us.
I won't rip out your hair. I'm not touching your hair.
And Aunt Fifi's going to want to... And Maya's not sick. She's a husky mix and she's shedding.
She's also a rescue dog and she doesn't like people pulling her hair out.
And she just knows Aunt Fifi's really anxious and says her mama wants to be up here.
I'm not anxious. I just, like, these are good emotions because it's like, I feel like I'm finally letting myself feel your pain of where you're coming from without demonizing myself.
And yeah.
Like, without being like, you're a piece of shit, you know?
Right. And I think it's the first time reason I think you've been able to, like, kind of separate that you didn't make the choices.
Until somebody has experienced a psychopath, and you think about cults, like, brainwashing is fucking real.
Yeah.
But it was a brainwashing to the point of, like, I was no longer in control of my thoughts.
You gotta lay down. At this point of life, there was only one thing I was sure about. And it was that I wouldn't die alone because I have you.
Yeah.
It's just something that was understood and known. Also, at that point, I was more integrated in your family. I felt like your nephew was my nephew and your sister was like, we had a good relationship. I felt like she wasn't afraid of me taking the position of a sister because she knew the position that I was. Finally able to just be like a really cool dynamic between the three of us. And I was just like, I'm never going to be alone. I have you.
Yeah.
Forever. We literally tell people whenever one of us dies, we're drinking poison and climbing the casket.
Yeah.
Like, without you, I am not alive. And I genuinely, with my entire soul, felt that way. There was no scenario that he was ever going to take you away from me. It was just going to be a really fucked up ride. Like, I was just like, all right, here we go. Like, strap in. And After Vegas, we had I remember me and your sister had tried to like address things we were concerned about. We were both really
What were you concerned about?
from what I had told her, really concerned about this guy. He is not a good guy.
Yeah. But she
And-
also was probably in the same boat as you, but to a different extreme where you knew you were going to be there. She was probably just like, good luck.
I mean,
I'll be here when the pieces fall, but I'm not going to pour any more energy into trying to convince her otherwise.
She was concerned. We were sitting at the table coloring, and she addressed her concerns about John when I was there. And I knew that she was doing it when I was there because she was afraid to do it otherwise. And you got super defensive. And
what was the question?
Basically, she was just saying, like, Felicia, any man that has a kid that he doesn't take care of is a concern.
Yeah.
And you defended it. And then she said, why did he take you to Vegas?
Yeah.
I know.
A lot of people
I said
that.
He's literally been grooming her, Courtney. He took her to Vegas for a reason. Everything happened after Vegas. I don't remember all of it. I just remember you stormed out. You went to the shack because Courtney's house is like right in front of where the shack was. And I went to the shack, and you were already in bed, and I had stayed back to talk to Courtney for a second. I don't even remember like what we said. I just remember looking at her, and I just felt like there was a shift in you that I hadn't seen. And I for some reason, I just like felt like, I don't know if I'm going to see Courtney again. I don't know why.
Yeah, it was. I
came
remember
to
now. It was on the phone in the shack when we broke up.
No. I walked out to the shack, and you were laying in bed, and I said, Felicia, me and Courtney love you, and we're concerned about you. I don't know what's happening right now, but you're really angry, and I've never seen you like this.
Yeah.
Because you yelled at us, and I had never seen you so angry. I had never seen you so like genuinely, you were a different person. I remember you just like screaming at me and being like, I mean, I don't even remember what you said, but you said some mean things. You were very mad, and you were basically like, you're jealous. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And John's a good guy and whatever. I walked out, and I was still like, we're going to be fine. I went to work the next day, and John went to the leadership, and he had said that I was toxic to the sales floor. Keep in mind that I don't associate in drama ever. I don't talk to people. And what I can say about myself with complete certainty of every job I've ever been in is that I work my ass off, and I normally am a top producer.
You always
And
are.
any opportunity I've ever had to be promoted has been earned. John had went to, you're up too high. That's not going to work.
I have to be able to, John had gone to management, but do you want to know why he did? And that's where I felt guilty.
You should know this part of the story.
I should tell it. Our friendship, I think it was after that night, obviously. And I felt like, wait, that makes sense. Because I don't remember telling you you're jealous. So at that point, I had been moved into.
She had to be moved into a different department because she couldn't technically be dating the VP of sales and work in sales. So she got moved to a different department that we can't say what it was because we worked for the bleep, bleep, bleep.
First of all, I felt like I was sacrificing because I went from working Monday through Thursday to working Monday through Friday.
We worked Monday to Thursday, 10 to 6:30.
Okay, so I was, for this man, I was sacrificing my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I was sacrificing my pay. I remember it was something that we were wanting to do on a Friday. Or I remember you saying, well, you can't because you have to work. Not in a bad way, but in my mind, I spun that as my best friend is making me feel shitty about my new work schedule. That was the context that I told it to in John.
That was
it was about the promotion, but that was my thought process. I'm thinking she is making me feel shit, even though you weren't. I did have a new shitty work fucking schedule. I was getting paid less. And no, it came down to being paid less. That's where I was like, I'm taking all of these sacrifices for this man, but I couldn't see it that way. All I saw and honed in on was my best friend is trying to rub how much better it is on the other side to me in a way. And I shared that with him in like a conversation.
Right. Well,
Like he should have never done anything with that.
so I had told you because I was really excited because I had been working there for a long time. And at that point, I would just thought this is my career.
Right.
So my goal was to move up and I was excited about it. So I told my best friend. I told you in a way of like, yeah, like I might get to like get promoted. And also at the other job, part of the reason why I was blocked from promotions is because VP hated me because of you.
Mm.
So I had been blocked at the last job. I was excited.
I didn't make them hate her. They hated you because they were threatened by your strength. They knew
And they
that if
wanted
you knocked sense
Obviously,
into me,
it wasn't you that made them hate me. It was you were the reason behind it because they wanted to get to you, and I am your protector. I am the yin to your yang. They knew that with me, they don't have control over you.
Yeah.
Their goal was to fire me, to get rid of me, whatever. So I told you that. You vented to John thinking it was an innocent thing. If I didn't have a best friend that was in the leadership meeting that heard John make up these lies about me and could stand up for my character. Literally, she said, ask anybody on that floor. They will never believe that Andrea has done anything like that.
and regardless, if you or anyone else and anyone else was saying those things, it wouldn't be an issue. But it was because you were my best friend.
He literally took it to leadership and he said, we need to fire Andrea because she's toxic to the sales floor and she's lying about getting a promotion and making everyone feel shitty about it. To attack my character.
No.
And that's why he didn't win because
he's a fucking piece of shit.
But the thing is like the reason why he didn't win that is not just because was there to stand up for my character. It's because I am myself. Everybody knew like I'm not a toxic person.
No.
I literally didn't even talk to anybody.
That's what I think. I think that a lot of men in power are afraid of your energy if you think about it.
Well, yeah.
Because you're a fucking truth teller.
Yeah. And I see right fucking through him.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went to work that day. I got pulled into an office. I got asked about this by two people that knew me very well. And I knew exactly where it came from. I knew that you had talked to John. I knew that John had told them that. And I called you. I was in the parking lot at the gas station because I legitimately was so hysterical that I couldn't drive home. I said, Felicia, he's literally trying to get me fired because he wants to get rid of me because he knows that if you have me, you won't be fully accessible to him. And what he's trying to do is completely take you. And at this point, you had already said terrible things to me in the shack. You had cussed out me and Courtney. I knew you were gone in a different way, but I was hoping that maybe if I just said like, Felicia, it's my job. If I lose this job, I lose my house. I've worked hard for this. I got you this job. Please see what's happening.
Right.
And I remember you listened and you said,
You just have to remember like that's.
I know, but I just remember you said you sounded like you. And that's what fucked me up the most. Because you said, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I'm going to call you back. I'm going to talk to him and I'm going to call you back. And then I never talked to you again. And I lost my mind. I lost my mind. I literally lost my mind. And you were gone. You were gone. You wouldn't make eye contact with me. We were in the same office. I had to go into work every day and know that I was in the same building as you. We weren't going to go on walks. We weren't going to go to the nutrition tour. We weren't going to talk on our way. We weren't going to do you were a stranger. And I appreciate everyone there so much because they really did rally around me. I think they knew that I was like literally off the fucking deep end, but they also knew the power of John. And they knew you were gone. Like they were like, you can't save her at this point. She's gone. That was the last time I talked to you. And then I remember a few weeks after that was the Christmas party that I couldn't go to because I was so suicidal that I literally was like, I mean, was getting like literally like suicidal messages from me. I remember saying that you were there with him and you had came up and asked if I was okay. And she was like, she probably doesn't remember because I could tell she was blackout. But she just told me, I think, to like give me a little tiny piece of hope. A little bit of you existed. And then I remember you posted pictures of you guys at the holiday party.
Does that like,
it literally makes you like cringe.
the wildest thing about all of this to me is
That you don't remember?
no,
But do you remember that part?
no. The wildest thing to me is that literally I was being mind controlled down to every single aspect. That's fucking scary. Always talked
Like-
about how he was a psychopath and I was groomed and whatever. But as we're talking about it right now, the fact that I literally had no control over, like, my soul was like gone.
He took it. He literally took it.
And that's fucking scary to think about, that there are people out there that have that kind of control and power. Like, that's fucking scary.
Whenever I would creep on you from my Finsta, you can tell in your eyes. Your soul was gone.
For 3 years, that
it
was
is
the
not
longest
there.
That was the longest relationship I've ever had, ironically.
From your like perspective of that, how did that feel to you?
Us not talking. In that moment, I think I had been so programmed by him to think that you were the bad guy. I was like,
Yeah.
he would make it seem like you're stifling my independence when that's what he was fucking doing. Like, it literally is a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. But like, I just remember in that moment, I was like, Andrea is just possessive and she is jealous. Like, those were my thoughts.
And I also think it probably reiterated narratives that like your mom had kind of said, ways people had made us feel about our friendship that didn't
Yeah.
understand it and ultimately were intimidated by our friendship. We had been made to feel that we were crazy and we were too codependent.
But
and
no
whatever.
one has ever made us feel that way except for people who
are intimidated by
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Everybody else can recognize.
Literally, I can name 4. Have any of your friends ever been threatened by our friendship?
No, I don't think.
Your mom hasn't even been threatened by our friendship. No one has ever.
No, I mean, after the John thing, I think people were really protective of me, but not. I think up until then, nobody ever questioned anything.
Yeah.
And then when that happened, I think then it made people feel like maybe they had been tricked a little. Maybe you weren't who they thought that you were. And that's where it was really painful for me to try to like almost prove that back.
Hearing these things is really hard.
It was hard to live it too.
But then the fact that you still like, I feel like why it's even harder is that like, I'm hearing you say it and I love
Yeah.
you so much. And like, it just carries a lot of weight.
I know that it wasn't you now. And everybody else does too.
But
But
also in the moment, like
for
you, yeah. Like,
I mean,
there's a it's a double-sided coin. Like, the trauma I experienced was just as much for you.
yeah. I mean, in a different way, obviously,
Yeah.
like you had, it's okay, honey. Thank you for being so attentive, but we can't because it's going to be lickies on the microphone, honey. When we came back together after all of it, when you couldn't understand the weight of the gravity of what happened. And also, I think that like we're both still unpacking how much trauma that truly affected, like, I mean,
Well, and
both of us.
understanding it from your side of things too. You know what I mean?
And I think
Like,
this is like the first in the past few months of us like starting to unpack it a little bit more in a different way, in a different place.
yeah.
I think you're feeling all of that for the first time.
And it almost feels like a double fucking whammy. It's like you never ever gave up on me.
I guess like you acknowledge it then, but I don't know if you've ever fully acknowledged it up until today that we from like October to the tornado in March, we didn't talk. The first time I had broke like no contact with you, which is literally how I referred to it in my brain,
Yeah.
was to make sure that you weren't dead and that Courtney was okay after the tornado. And then we were texting consistently in some sort of delusion all through COVID. All day, every day, still texting. You didn't really talk a whole lot about what was going on.
Yeah, neither of us did.
And it was
and
just,
you didn't ask any
and
questions,
it was
which is
just-
why I felt like
I
could
feel like
keep
we were so
talking.
disassociated. Like, I don't even know what we talked about.
I don't think that we were disassociated. I think that we knew
I mean, we were definitely
that
disassociated.
we were, but I think that's where our
Survival
souls were
mechanism.
coming in.
Yeah.
It was like our texting, we both knew we needed each other,
Yeah.
and it had to be about things that didn't ask questions
Mm-hmm.
because questions meant our demise.
Are you comfortable unpacking the like physical part of stuff? Like,
Yeah.
of that, like,
I'm-
how he kind of like got you to that place of it?
I'm comfortable unpacking all of it, honestly. I've never felt hate. I never, ever, ever have hated a human being. I didn't hate the people that molested me. I didn't hate my ex-husband. I didn't hate anybody. This was the first time that I literally felt hate in my heart. The
Same.
first time. Before John, I lived with rose-colored glasses. I thought everyone
You
was
really
good.
did.
And
She
then,
really did.
And then after that, I was like, people are fucking evil.
It was your first like experience that you actually accepted evil in the world.
Yeah.
I think I'm happy now. I think I'm better off. I think I'm making up for all the time I lost. Look at me back again. Look at me still here. And that girl looking back in that mirror. I think she's happy now.